Okay, so I'll talk about Brigade REAP. Let me just bring up a presentation. Hopefully that should give you clarity on, why was REAP set up, who we are, and then I can take it from there. Brigade REAP was set up in 2016. The single goal of working with real estate, retail, and hospitality companies and verticals, bringing in technology in this spaces, right? So why did we even think about, why was Brigade REAP set up to begin with? We're based out of Bangalore. One of the core things, the reason why we set this up was real estate as an industry was facing several issues, right? A study done by McKinsey and company identified that almost 20% of the projects are over budgeted, 80% of them get delayed. Now, of course, these are numbers that McKinsey had put up, but it was indicative of the problem that a lot of real estate projects were either over budget or were delayed. Interestingly, the labor productivity, right? So this is a number that I have for Germany and UK. But if you'll see that the labor productivity was another thing, wherein there was a void that was forming, wherein you did not have enough skilled laborers to sort of continue to make sure they deliver quality product for the real estate industry. So it is over budget, it's delayed, and there is less productive workforce. Now, how do you bridge this chasm? How do you fill this void was one of the key questions that was staring us. And that was one of the reasons why we set up Brigade REAP. The idea was, how can you use technology to bring, how do you use technology to essentially fill this void? Now in India, this challenge is even more magnified. Why do I say that? India, among the lowest in productivity, the sector that is among the lowest is construction, right? I mean, you'll see there are quite a few sectors that I've listed here, but construction is among the top there, right? Now, contrast that with the fact that in India, at least, the amount of investment that goes back into technology in the real estate space is less than 1%. It's almost 0.9%. I mean, and the industry average stands about 3.3 or so. Right? So real estate is a big play in India. It's among the largest, there's a lot of capital that goes into it, but we are probably not as efficient as we could possibly be. And we believe technology could play a pivotal role, a key role in making sure that we are able to bridge that void. Now, I'll give you an example of where we believe. So this is real estate, so real problems, and how can startups solve those real critical problems. Now let me just start talking about water, because one of the startups that we have today is BRIGADE, which will talk about water and how it can help. In general, if you look at water scarcity, I think this is something that the World Resources Institute has already documented this very well. Forget the global part. Even in India, 54% of India faces high to extremely high water stress. Right? I mean, if you see all of those reds, which means you have, almost no water or very less amount of water available there, and it's only becoming worse and worse. So it's a problem that's staring in our face right now, and we have to do something about it. It's given, or this is again documented, that by about 2025, 21 cities will run out of groundwater, right? That's a very, very scary proposition to be staring at. Lakes, this is again something that's happening. Lakes are becoming sewage pits, right? The reason I'm talking about that is, again, we have Eco STP today, which will talk about how they can, essentially simplify this, right? So this is just in Bangalore. I mean, we've got burning lakes here. I'm sure you would have seen this in the news. Even on Google Maps, you are able to sometimes spot them, right? They look like snow, but it's just chemicals, right? It's really bad. The lakes are burning. Cities are filled with garbage. Again, something that is very, very well known. It is estimated that India will generate about 377 metric tons of waste in 2025, almost a threefold growth from 2018 to 2025. Now, interestingly, we are generating so much, but the amount of waste that is getting treated is less than 1%, right? And these are all, when you start putting these numbers together, it starts painting a very scary, but a very real picture. Breathing, right? So I talked about water, I gave you an idea about sewage. Now, breathing is becoming harder and harder. And this is again something that is very clearly documented, right? Not just, China, of course, but India also, right? 11 of the 12 most polluted cities are in India. Indoor air quality is really bad, almost 5x worse than outdoor in some spaces. And finally, if that was not sufficient, we also have technology. Now, this is I wanted to sort of specify what I mean by it here. When I say technology is killing us slowly, see, communication has become a way of life. I think we are all using phones, all kinds of Wi-Fi, cellular, microwave, everything, right? So everything where there is a radio and there is some kind of a radiation, it is proven. There are studies which say that, because of the antenna radiation, in general radiation, cancer and other ADHD and other neuro diseases are happening. So you've got water scarcity, you've got breathing becoming problems, sewage treatment becoming harder, landfills becoming worse and worse, and then you also have, the spread, the density of antennas sort of growing by the day, and radiation killing us, right? Now, is all of this, how do you really go about solving this, right? I mean, just to give you this is, when I first saw this picture, it actually scared me immensely. This is Bangalore, for those of you who can make it, right? The left top is how Bangalore was in 1973. You can see there were barely any red patches and it was almost green. 68% was, there was vegetation. And contrast that over the years with in 2020, the greenery, the vegetation has gone down to 2.96%, and the built-up area, or the built-up, area within that whole map of Bangalore has gone up to 93.3%. For those of you, who've been in Bangalore, who know Bangalore, the temperature increase has been, people who are living here are saying 10 years back, 20 years back, the temperatures are much, much better. Almost 8% average temperature increase Bangalore has seen, which is again scary, right? So I think all of this is painting a picture, which is the world we are living in really is becoming, becoming terrible because of these things. And we believe these are solutions. We believe these are problems which are staring us today, and you need solutions which can solve this. These were some of the challenges that Brigade REAP took upon, to find startups, to find technology, to find companies who can solve it, right? Again, one of our startups put this slide together, and I thought it was a very pertinent slide for this particular forum for me to bring in. Just over the last 15 years, 64% increase in the mean temperature in Bangalore. Now, what does it mean? Every degree of temperature increase causes 4% increase in the HVAC operational expense. So for a real estate fraternity, we have to look at the cost that's putting on us for every degree that the mean temperature rises. There's a 30% increase in annual water cost. There's a 7% increase in annual waste management. All of these are numbers for the last 10, 12, 15 years, right? And if this continues this way, in the next 15 years, the projected loss in a city like Bangalore, just on the construction side or on the operation side, are over $1 billion each, right? Just to put that in perspective. Now, can technology, so I think technology has been touted as, the magic wand. Everybody says, hey, if I have technology, it can solve a lot of problems, but can technology really solve problems like this? So we thought, let's just take a look at it, right? Now, technology that can, deliver tangible benefits in fixed time has immense scope of adoption. The reason I talk about real-time monitoring is because real-time monitoring and quality control can ensure higher product quality, reduced errors, and critical decisions are made without wasting time. For example, let's say in real-time energy, water, or other real-time energy, water, and gas monitoring can improve systems management, can improve tenant behavior, and can actually make sustainable building, sustainable living really possible. Yeah. Also, inexpensive, easy to use, easy to implement technologies can reduce energy consumption caused by almost 25% or more in commercial and multi-unit residential buildings. Something that's clearly documented, not just documented, even proven by the startups, right? But it's very, very important for us to be able to track and measure the system to deliver these efficiencies. I think that's critical. So a lot of startups come to us, a lot of companies talk to saying we can do this, but more often than not, we are not able to realistically measure the efficacy or the efficiency those startups or those companies are able to deliver. Collaboration between departments will be key for organizations as they move to digital, right? For example, how can technology help track, let's say, the overall customer, right? So say you've got a commercial tenant, you've got a residential customer, you've got a hotel or a mall customer, right? How can technology help you sort of manage, track, monitor, understand that customer better? Can technology help me realistically reduce the acquisition cost? Or can technology help me make sure that I deliver a moment of wow, a moment of a quality service to that customer because I know him or her better. Now, in other industries like banking and finance have shown the acceptance of SaaS, which stands for software as a service. So how can real estate community re-engineer the CapEx versus the OpEx models? Let me give an example here. Right? Say, can diesel generator or solar panels be acquired on a OpEx basis or on a pay for use basis, right? As opposed to just having capital expenses upfront. Now, there are several very interesting business models that are emerging, and it's definitely possible to manage these capex heavy upfront investments, not only with bigger companies but even with startups. In fact, we've got a couple of very interesting startups who offer, for example, solar panels or solar panel cleaning or even water management. All of that on a subscription service or on a subscription or an OpEx model as opposed to a capital heavy model. Finally, let me just share about sustainability. Now, momentum was actually building for 2020 to be a year of collective action on sustainability, with business and governments coming together to tackle the climate emergency. The COVID outbreak has emphasized more than ever the importance of future-proofing businesses for growth and resilience within this overall context of the climate change. For each of us, it's time we look at sustainability closely. For example, even for all of us, right? Supply chain, logistics, dislocation. How can I take this opportunity? How can I think about a circular economy? Can it reduce dependence on raw material for real estate? Such an economy which emphasizes reuse has huge potential in cost benefits, right? So these are some of the tech interventions, right? Which can deliver essentially cost savings. Now on the revenue optimization, see, because at the end of the day, what are we all looking at? Can I reduce my cost or can I actually generate revenues? These are the only two things that matter to me as a business. And any startup, any company, any technology that I'm evaluating has to either deliver me very tangible cost reduction or very clear revenue optimization. Now, one of the things that is happening, we have Sundar today who will talk about Prop VR, and I thought let me set the stage for him here. See, in traditional way, marketing used to be building awareness and interest, and then the sales would take that over. It was a clear demarcation. Now, what's happening is the funnel is being curated and nurtured across the stages. Everything from awareness to interest to consideration to intent, and eventually to convert. Right? There are marketing tools available which can give you very clear indication at a very granular and micro level in terms of how the customer is actually going through the funnel, what is the propensity of him to convert. Can we use such tools to effectively deliver higher revenues for us? Right? And yield enhancing models. I think COVID has been again one of those things wherein we've seen that sharing economy is sort of taking off again, right? How can I use the real estate that I have, the asset that I have? How can I get the most utilization of that? Are there startups? Are there companies? Are there business models that are evolving which can essentially deliver me better yields, higher yields for the same asset that I have? Finally, you've seen some very interesting models again evolving in the whole revenue share. So typically it used to be a vendor model wherein somebody would come to you and say, hey, give me X rupees or X thousand rupees for building a video for you, and or give me so many lakh rupees for setting this up for you. Interesting models are evolving wherein we can sort of take can revenue share be one of those things which can help us do a win-win between the companies, the customer, and ourselves as real estate developers. Right? So very quickly, what I'll do, and this is just to give you a landscape of the startups that we have at REAP. REAP, we've been there, as I said, for about the last 4 years. We've got 33 startups that have graduated, and they fall in these categories. So if you are doing commercial development, right, and you are looking for companies in sustainable design or landscaping or wastewater treatment, security, architectural design, logistics, last mile, last yard logistics, all of these, water management, all of the, there are several companies who sort of fall into these buckets that we have. And we are happy to share with you a brochure which sort of talks about each of them. If there's an interest in it, we can send them across to you for everybody at Credai Kerala to sort of take a look at them. Similarly, in the residential space, again, we've got quite a few startups. This is just a snapshot of them. Everything from how legal can be used, legal technology can be used, how data analytics can be used, how can I do home renovation, how can I do radiation management. Each of these areas are very well covered by startups that we have in our space. Right? Again, these are not just companies who just build product. They actually are getting not just local but global recognition. So whether it's Business Today, where 3 of the 12 coolest startups were from REAP. NASCOM and CBRE had set up a real estate event last year, and all the 3 winners in that event were from REAP. In fact, all the 3 are present here today and will be sharing their journey with you today. KPMG, again, 2 companies were mentioned in our global KPMG report for 2019 and 2020. Forbes, right? So I think enough and more recognition, which validates not only the problem, but the scale and the quality of the solution that these startups deliver. REAP itself, again, has been recognized, but we continue to sort of work. We stand on top of these giants who sort of build great solutions for the real estate fraternity. So with that, I'm pretty much done. These are our coordinates. Rajiv and I will continue to be on the call. We will be willing, and we'll take all the questions. From what I understand the format, the questions would be towards the end. So unless there is a question that you want me to answer right now, if not, I'd request VGOT to sort of come to the floor, and we'll invite Abhilash to take the discussion forward, talk about VGOT and how it can help the real estate fraternity.
Yeah, thanks, Apul. You stopped sharing the screen?
I did. I'm already stopped. I've already stopped.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abhilash. I am one of the co-founders of VGOT. VGOT is a play on IoT, and it stands for Water, Electricity, and Gas of Things. For the purpose of this conversation, we're only going to be talking about our first product, which is our end-to-end water management platform, VGOT Aqua. So the problem that we are looking to solve needs no introduction. I mean, it's written about far and wide, from World Resources Institute, Niti Aayog, Apul's presentation, that our cities are running out of water, right? And the only way that you can solve this problem, when you think about the problem as a whole, is you have to either increase the supply or you have to bring down the demand. And this is exactly what VGOT's IoT platform does. I have deliberately mentioned the word IoT twice here. This is to kind of indicate what we want to imply by using the word IoT. So IoT means there is a hardware piece that will collect data, and then you take this data and then you put it on a software application or an application layer, so that you'll see real-time information, so that you'll also be able to make real-time decisions. So in our case, the hardware is the green device you see on the right. It's a replacement for traditional water meters. So when we started about 5 years ago, we wanted to understand why a water meter is not used everywhere. Every house comes by default with an electricity meter, but every house does not have a water meter, right? There has to be some reason for that. We say water is important. Everybody tells you save water, but we don't treat it with as much importance. So we went around trying to figure out why this was. So we found out 4 major reasons. The first is the way the plumbing layout is. Every 2-bedroom apartment will typically have 3 measuring points, one for each bathroom and one for the kitchen. right? So that means if you live even in a 100 apartment property, you have 300 measuring points. So it became manual intensive where somebody had to go into the duct area, collect this reading, subtract from the previous month. So it was manual work. So that was the first challenge. The second challenge was we wanted people to start paying for their own water consumption. The idea is that once you start paying for your own consumption, you will become more conscious. Exactly why we turn off our ACs. We don't leave our ACs on all the time. So, but for that to happen, you have to believe the data that comes out of these devices. Now, what happens is this is how a traditional water meter works. You'll have a pipe, water will pass through, there's a turbine that rotates, and then this will tell you how much water is passed through. But what this doesn't account for is that in the plumbing line, you have both water and you have air as well. And this turbine will rotate irrespective of water or air. So your data is not accurate. The second challenge is water also flows backwards, but your counter only goes in one direction. So again, what this means is the same water will keep going back and forth, but your counter goes only in one direction. So you keep getting counted multiple times for the exact same water. Again, your data is not accurate. The third challenge is that when you have very low flow, that is not enough velocity to turn this turbine. And again, it goes unnoticed. Again, your data is not accurate. So to prevent that, what we've done is we've built a device. This is an ultrasonic device. It has two piezo elements in each end. We know this diameter, it's a fixed diameter. We know this distance. We calculate the time difference in nanoseconds that it takes for water to go from point A to point B. And this will give you the most effective volume of water going out. Now, once I've removed that turbine that rotates, I've eliminated all the data challenges. We're able to give you over 98% accuracy, even at a one drop level. And this has been certified by the government as well. Now, all the other challenges like airflow. Now, there is no turbine, so there is no airflow that this will be tracking. And reverse flow is not a problem because when you go from point A to point B, the time difference is positive, and when you go backwards, it is negative. So we'll automatically subtract that out and give you true flow. So that is the second piece where we've given you, this is the cleanest possible data that you'll get out of a device right now. The next piece is, since I have no moving components, what that means is I have less chance of failure and I don't have to recalibrate this every year. And finally, the biggest thing you'll see is with this, there is no counter on top. So what I'm trying to send a message to everybody is, hey, nobody needs to go to the device. It will all come to you remotely on your mobile phone. Right? Now, it's not just mobile phone. There are two types of users. One is the person consuming the water, and one is the person managing the facility. Both of them have different use cases. And we've built this platform where both of them will coexist and both of them will help each other out. So the person living in the apartment, his primary need is, I want to see how much I am using. If there is a leakage, I need to find out. If there is a leakage, can I shut it off? I get a bill that's generated for myself and I pay my bill. This is my most basic need. So all this happens, you just have to download an app of the Play Store or the App Store, and you will get your particular information in real time. Beyond this, we will also help set benchmarks because see, when we tell people save water, they don't even know how much they're using. And I'm fairly certain if you're not using a system like ours, if I ask how many liters is your average daily usage, how many liters is your maid using, how many liters is your shower consuming, you will not know this information. So we help set benchmarks, and this helps reduce a bare minimum of about 30%. I'll walk you through the case studies a little later in this presentation. The second person is the facility manager. His job is to make sure water is provided 24/7 on demand to the consumer. He has to make sure he buys the water. He has 5 different types of sources. You buy tanker lorry from the market. You get municipal water from the government. You extract borewell water from the ground. You have rainwater harvesting, and you have STP recycled water. These are the only sources of water in any building. Now we track all of them, and all the challenges that are associated with it also we manage. So with tanker lorry, my first problem is I am buying 10,000 liters. Did I really get 10,000 liters? Or I get an invoice for 100 tankers. Did 100 tankers come or only 80 tankers come? And it's the security guard and the tanker driver working together and splitting the difference. I want to know how much is the output of my STP, how much is going to flushing, how much is going to irrigation, how much is going to cooling tower, right? And then understand the efficiency of that. I want to understand how to make sure my borewell does not run dry, right? That's another big problem. The borewells keep running dry. So we will control how much you extract out of the borewell and automatically shut off the borewell based on multiple parameters. We will track the efficiency of your WTP. What is the input? What is the output? What is the backwash? We will be able to understand how much water is there in all your storage sumps, underground, overhead, and control that based on the level as well automatically. So what this means is you will be able to audit the water in any building in real time. How much has come in? How much has been consumed? What is the difference? That is what everybody refers to as NRW or non-revenue water. And this you'll be able to track in real time, and we will be able to make better decisions to reduce this NRW. So this is what the solution does. We have two models. We have a wired model for high-rise buildings, and we have a wireless model where every sensor will send information by itself for villas and low-rise buildings. We can also do a hybrid depending on the campus itself. So we've saved over 3 billion liters of water so far. We are in more than 30,000 apartments. We manage more than 30 million square feet of commercial real estate as well. These are some of the largest clients that we work with. We're predominantly based out of Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad. Over the last year, we've raised money, so we've also started out in the west and in the north. But these are, in general, the largest developers that we work with, and we work not in just one project, across portfolio in some of these cases as well. I will talk about a case study also very quickly. So this was an 80 apartment building in Bangalore, which was which was spending 161,000 rupees per month for water, average to about 2,000 rupees per apartment. Within 3 months of using our solution, it went from 161,000 to 75,000, right, or 900 and change rupees. So that is the savings that we're able to generate. The other thing that we also realized was, when you save this amount of water, you don't just save the cost of water, you also save the cost of electricity required for pumping, the electricity required for treatment as well. And also it reduces the wear and tear of all the infrastructure that you have. We have similar success in commercial buildings where within 2-3 months, you're buying 30 tankers less. Same thing in industrial campuses as well. Within 2-3 months, you're buying 60 tankers less, or 25K liters per day. This is fairly standard across all of the properties that we have, because primarily people do not know what their benchmark is. They don't know how much they're using. Once you have this, you're able to start making better decisions. So this is our solution. Just quickly, I'll talk about our business model as well. So like Apul was talking about, we've innovated with the business model. We do not charge for the product. We give you the product for free. We charge the client only an installation fee, whatever the cost of the plumber is, the electrician is, the fittings, etc. And there is a monthly subscription fee. In the residential segment, we start at 149 rupees per house per month. It doesn't matter if it's a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 149 rupees per month. And the highest plan we have is 349 rupees per house per month. In the commercial segment, it is 20 paise per square feet. So this is the business model as well. So I'll be happy to take any questions. Oh, I'm sorry. Questions are actually in the end, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I make a small suggestion here? I think because this is a technology, these are all technology products, then recollecting all these at the end of the presentation will be extremely difficult. We'll finish questions as and when each product is explained. We'll finish it, then we'll move forward. Is that okay?
Absolutely fine with us. We were just going by what we were. So absolutely fine. I think you can open up for Q&A.
Anthony, is it okay with you? Anthony? Hello, Anthony or Elizabeth?
Okay, perfect. Absolutely no issues.
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah. Can I just ask you one question here? I think it's very interesting. I think you have never looked at Kerala. I don't know why. Maybe because you may not be getting the sort of volumes or economies of scale you are looking for. Maybe that could be one of the reasons. But let me just ask you a few things. Some of the considerations. One is reverse flow can easily be stopped by an NPV, by a NRV, by a non-return valve. Then of course, as far as air is concerned, it's compressible, doesn't make much of a difference. 2. And third is the calibration of a piezoelectric crystal. You may have to do it periodically, unlike the water meter, which is very rudimentary in make. Okay. Now these are the 3 considerations which I have a small I need some clarity. But however, I also need a clarity on how are you saving almost 25% of water from the arithmetic you have shown. You seem to be saving 25% of water that's been fed by tankers. Okay, this is my first question, the long question. Second is, just to give you a tip, I was in Israel some time back. They have something called, they have a startup which is called a SOPI. SOPI is a small tap with an equipment which measures the germs and the dirt in your hand. So it meters, thereby it meters and sends the soap and water in your hand. You save huge amount of water by that means. So SOPI has been used right across Israel in most of the public places. That's just a tip for you.
Okay. Okay. So let me address the first part of the question, which you were talking about with the airflow and the reverse flow, all of that. So yes, like you said, if you have an NRV, then you will be able to stop reverse flow. But typically, most developers, even where water meters are installed, they don't install because there's an additional cost that's attached to it. So with this, you don't need an NRV at all, because whether it goes back and forth how many ever times, it'll just keep subtracting every single time. So you don't need the NRV with this. As far as airflow is concerned, so the thing is, because it's a pressurized line, when there is that airflow, it actually spikes the usage up extremely high. Like we have data that will suddenly say that you've used 3,000 liters tonight, right? And we know that's not real usage, that's airflow. So we actually have algorithms written in which will detect that as well. So we're working with some municipal municipalities as well. So they don't actually have the budget for a new this thing. So, but we've written out an algorithm for them to add one of our devices on top of the existing devices and try and detect airflow. But airflow is a big problem that throws the numbers off quite substantially. And as far as calibration is concerned, so how we do this is we've made the inside of this device very, very smooth. It becomes impossible almost for scaling. Otherwise, there is no calibration of the piezoelectric element. The judge, the jury, everybody is the person with the app. You take a 1 liter bottle, you open it up. If it says 1 liter, it's working. If it is not, it is not working. It's that simple. And if it's not working, I have to fix it. If I don't fix it, you will not pay me that monthly this thing anymore. And if you don't pay me my monthly thing anymore, my investors will not agree to put the device there. So my business model is built in a way where we provide service for the client. And if you're not happy, I'm not going to be able to connect. So we don't have that calibration as an issue with us. So this is, I hope I've answered the first part of your question.
Yeah, good.
And the second part, I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Okay, first part it's easy. I can take I can use a bottle, take one liter from a tap and check what is the metering. I can check. I can always check your calibration.
Yes.
Am I right? Yeah. Second is I was just talking to you about a new device called the SOPI.
Oh,
SOPI. Yeah, it is now it has been marketed or it's been developed. It was developed by an Israeli company for use in Israel to save water. That has shown to save huge amount of water. Just ask me whether you might be interested in that. Yeah.
Oh yes, absolutely. I will look them up, and maybe I can reach out to you to speak a little bit more about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, Abhilash, I don't see any more question at this point. Maybe can I request you to also
excuse me, one more. Can you just give a demo somewhere in Kerala?
Yes, we do. We can.
So if I call, you can come down to Trivandrum and show a demo in Trivandrum for Credai Trivandrum members?
Yes, we can.
And for similarly to Cochin also?
Yes, we can.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm stopping my screen share.
Yeah. Thanks, Abhilash, but do stay on.
I'm sure I'll be here.
You might have more questions. And also, folks, please, Abhilash, do share your coordinates on the chat window as well, company email and phone number, so that others can also reach out to you. With that, I think I'd like to invite Tarun from EcoSTP. Tarun, go ahead. The stage is yours. Yeah, thanks.
Am I audible and can you see my screen?
Yeah, very much.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Good afternoon. My name is Tarun, co-founder and CEO of EcoSTP Technologies. I'm going to speak about a sewage treatment technology solution. Right now, we're implementing in Trivandrum for iCloud homes, 2 installations. So, yeah, let me get into it. The problems, I'm not spending too much time on the problem. You all know, STPs are a pain everywhere. STPs hardly work. It works for 2 years, 3 years, it fails. And the minister saying 70% doesn't work. In fact, it's more than 70%. As per the Karnataka Pollution Board, it's around 85%. So they all fail because it fails because there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of motors involved, chemicals involved, operators involved, and that's why they fail. Usually a builder does a great job of implementing a good STP. And once you hand over to the residents, that's where it fails because they don't know how to operate. And you can't blame the resident because this is actually a government job. It's not a job of a normal employee association president and secretary to make the STP work. So this is how it usually happens. So we went back and see how do you solve this issue instead of using the same issue. So we came out with a solution. This is how it looks like. I'll explain this. These are you can look at as underground tanks, which we all had septic tanks long time back. So so it may look something like that, but it's not a septic tank. So you have stage 1 is anaerobic digestion. You have 3 stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Goes underground. Water flows from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 by gravity. And we put a bacteria in the bottom. We put a bacteria one time. Is all put only one time. There's no consumables, no power. Is whatever I add is only one time. We sell a kit. We don't make the STP. We only sell the kit. Kit contains the bacteria, the technology, the media, whatever you can't buy from outside. That's part of the kit. And actual civil work is done by the customer directly. For example, we sold a kit to iCloud, and iCloud does the civil work. So because civil, you guys are the experts in doing that. So we're not. So that's how it works. It's based on a cow stomach. So if you look at cow stomach works on anaerobic digestion concept, and one of the best anaerobic digestion systems, which can even digest, even plastic get digested, seriously. So we use the same concept, helped by a company called Biomimicry Institute, Montana, US. So they are our technical experts. So they are experts in learning from nature. So they are one of the mentors, and we in fact started a grant with them. So we take the entire sewage. There's no bar screen. Everything falls to tank number 1 and moves to tank 2 and tank 3. And tank number 1, you clean once in 2 years. That's only maintained. Tank number 1. So call the septic tank guy and clean the tank number 1. Stage number 3, water comes out. It conforms to the Central Pollution Control Board, not to Karnataka or Kerala. So we need to run a tertiary treatment system, a plant filter, which I'll speak about. And it's a standard, it's a simple wetland, water flows the roots and clear water comes out. And then you can use it for flushing and car wash. In fact, you can put additional equipment. In one of our clients here is putting a RO machine and using for drinking purpose. Not drinking, people started with bathing at least. So no blowers, no chemicals, no blowers. This is how it is. This is how the construction looks like. This is what I call the gut as an STP. A cow stomach, how do you replicate the cow stomach? So we have detailed quality checks to ensure it's done properly. So we come and physically check everything done. We do from remote. Ensure it's done as per the quality checks, because we take the accountability, ownership, though the customer is doing the civil work. So it's all multiple pipes. It all goes through, but it's all designed such a way that we done for 7-8 years, and now only we started commercially starting. We have some 50 plus installations in India now. This is how it looks like. This is one of installation in Bangalore. What you see in the entrance is the STP. What you see is STP, no noise, nothing. And the plants here work as a plant filter. We have one more plant bed, but this is one of the part 1. So water flows through the roots of the plants and get cleared up, the last stage. And then you go to a collection tank, and from there you pump it up to the overhead tank, and you put a ozonizer or a chlorine, because disinfection is important for COVID times, and use it for flushing. And they've been using for flushing. Absolutely no issues, very happy. No movement, no noise, nothing. If you come to Bangalore, I can show you around here. This is another customer. What you see here is a children's playground. Below that is STP. So we integrate nicely so that the whole space is utilized. And this is all civil structure, no movement. So we say it's built for generations, not 1 year, 2 year. The key features is, one is no minimum load required. Usually STPs needs 50% load, as you know, at least 30% load, which means once you build a flat or a layout, at least 30% has to be sold, then only STPs will work. STPs need air, food in the time of load that coming in, and also the the blower that is be added. So in this case, there's no minimum load. It works with just one toilet. Since it's based on a cow stomach, even if one toilet, it works. Even if it's more, if suppose you overload that system, it doesn't crash, it digests. So it's got a built-in shock protection also. Because it's designed by nature, it's all nature driven. So, and of course, no power, no operators. We have all the pollution control board approvals, CFE and CFO approvals, 10-year CFE, CFO we got. No smell at all. Smell because normally in STPs it smells because you're blowing the air through fecal matter. So any tech you take, they call SBR, MMBR, MBR, whatever it is all means blow air through fecal matter. That's all. So you have blower motor and blow air. That's how it works. In our case, there's no blower. So there's no blowing air through fecal matter. So there's no smell. There's a vent goes out, but there's no blowing air. The return on investment is less than 2 years. Let me explain this. Say, suppose you have suppose you buy from a Thermax or an Ion Exchange, STP, most STPs in Kerala, Thermax and Ion Exchange, we will be same price, will be slightly cheaper. But if you put a normal, somebody who bundled around the multiple blower from one company and diffuser from another company and bundled together, then we will be slightly expensive. We'll be expensive by 5% or 10%, not more than that, capex. But running cost is so low. So the ROI is less than 2 years. We have a ROI calculator where you show the ROI is less than 2 years. It's perhaps that's the reason why iCloud Biju from Trivandrum bought it. So you already had STP experience. They all fail, difficult to expensive, very expensive to maintain, and that's why we went to it. So less than 2 years is ROI. Quickly recognition, we have a whole lot. I just put only 1 or 2 here. We've been referred by United Nations as a best practice, which you can download from the United Nations link directly. We have a Royal Engineering from London as a leader in innovation. And Museum of Design, Atlanta, is showcased as an innovation, is the only innovation from Asia, nature-based innovation. It is supposed to happen last month, now it's been postponed because of COVID. But it's all this few recognitions. This is me, Tarun, and my colleague Prasid. We both are from Kannur. So we want to do some business in Kerala. So our technical head is in based out of Kerala. He's there, Prakash. Yeah, we have a business manager, Vivek Gopal, is based out of Kochi. So we are all here and look forward to Kerala business. My customers, we have a whole lot of customers, 53 customers in 9 states. Tata Steel, BHEL. Out of 53, 11 or 12 have already gone live, which I showed you some examples. The rest is in progress. And iCloud Homes, Trivandrum, they gave first order and then they gave one more order. 2 orders we have, both are under construction because of little slowdown because of the COVID crisis now. And lastly, this is my last slide. It's about the testimonials. We have clients. We don't call them clients. We call them change makers. Something like 9 clients has gone to YouTube. CEOs like you are given testimonials in YouTube, saying that one guy said you're a Tesla. One guy said it's a huge savings for the nation. In fact, this top of the mind is I'm from Hyderabad. I was from Hyderabad yesterday, and Gandhi Chaudhary said, I'm saving this STP because I'm saving for the nation, not for you and me. That's a great thing. So buying an STP, so build up, putting an STP and saving the nation. So this is what he says from his heart. So Gandhi Chaudhary, we have a hold up from Suhail Rahman from Co-Evolve, Brigade, all of us there. We have Patna Sakar, who is advertising in Facebook, saying that buy my apartment. Sakar is a 3,000 apartment in Patna. Buy my apartment because it's got EcoSTP in it. So he's advertising like that. We have Bharati Developers Chennai is come on Facebook and said, buy my apartment because it saves money for you as a customer. So whole lot of things. In this week, in fact, Ambient Group, Nagaraj Naidu, he's come on Radio City, and imagine a builder going to Radio City and saying, I have this, I have swimming pool, I also have EcoSTP in radio. This whole week, this has been going on. So we have the all change makers, this is what we believe. And this is my last slide. Yeah, I'll take questions. I'll keep this here.
Arun?
Yeah.
I'm Anthony. I have a question for you.
Certainly.
You said you have a couple of installations which is being done in Kerala.
Yeah.
Now, do you have the approvals, consent to establish and then consent?
We already met the customer already met the PCB and we not made the application yet. They informally said you go ahead, but based on that only they did. But they got a okay, but nothing in writing yet. Moment they apply, they will approve it because there's no reason why not approve because all of the states we already got approval. CFO, that is 10 years CFO and all we got. And it's the government of India. We have a DIPP tax exemption. Agni is Startup India selected by Agni. as a top sectoral sanitation technology. So there's no reason why somebody should reject it. But the fact is, we're not got any CFE or CFO in Kerala yet, but builder have gone ahead based on the commitment from the PCB.
What is the BOD level that you normally get?
A BOD, we get 10.
You get 10.
Yeah.
Is that guaranteed?
Yes,
10
that's
or
guaranteed.
less?
No, 10 or less is guaranteed, sir. Yes.
Right.
Anthony, that is where I want to come in. That is precisely the question what I want to ask you. When you say reuse, you said this is to be used for flushing. Okay, gardening, of course, if it doesn't come into contact with the human body, you can't call it reuse. But the moment reuse happens, you have to, you just look at the Environmental Protection Act. Act says you have to have a BOD of 3. If you are just what you call pumping it out into an open into a drain which goes to a running water body, fine. BOD 10 is perfectly okay as per the CPCB norms. But when the moment you are reusing it, it has to come to 3 or below. And in Kerala, you have to reuse as per the last building rule. You reuse 15%.
Right. So when you say reuse, we say BOD 10. Basically, you reuse for car wash and flush.
No.
Let me explain. Yeah.
But I think for gardening, I don't know. Gardening, it can be 10. Anything other than gardening, it has to have a BOD of 3.
Yeah,
as per the as per the Environmental Protection Act of 2005, it's very clearly it's written there. It's part of the act.
Correct. So what we do is there are three classifications. Classification for gardening. Gardening, we need BOD 20 instead less than 30. BOD 30 is also good. For flushing and car wash is less than 10. And if you want to really use
for flushing, it does with 3 or below.
Yeah. So if you want 3 or below, then we need to put a filter called RO emission or ultrafiltration unit. That needs power.
You have to go for an ultrafiltration.
Yes. If you want to do
power.
that, that needs power. Of course, that needs power. Like one client is using for bathing purpose. So bathing, that needs, nature cannot give you BOD 3. Nature can give only BOD 10. Beyond that, it is all man-made thing. You have filters. But what you really gain is normally to get BOD 10 or BOD 15, you need to have blower motors. You need a blower. That means somebody has to change the oil in the blower. You have to add the battery every 1 hour. Those headaches are not there. You get a BOD 10 water by nature. Then you add the additional filters to get any level you want.
Okay, then one more question. See, now the volume. See, yes. The reason why you have, you take a submarine where you have a small, a much smaller plant, which uses a bacteria, anaerobic bacteria. When you have blowers, the advantage of the blower is we can bring down the volume of the STP, the tank.
Correct.
So now since you don't have blowers, the size of your tanks will be massive. So for an apartment that comes in maybe 50 cents of land, do you think a tank of this technology is viable?
Yeah, certainly. So first of all, this is not a classic anaerobic system. This is a patented 30-step anaerobic system. So we got a patent on it. So it's a much compacted anaerobic system compared to an aerobic system. But still, it needs double the space of a normal aerobic system, blower-based.
Yeah, that is the point I want to ask you.
Yeah, but the space is completely recovered because the normal blower-based systems, you can't even go there. It's a completely blocked area. In our case, we do it below the road, below the car parking, below the driveway, below the children's park. So creatively, so what we do is we work with very closely with builders and see how do you ensure this is the STP is integrated the whole system. Is part of is a living system. People are living, so bacteria is also living. So that's how we built up, and it's only once in a lifetime kind of thing. So, but you cannot.
No. I'm asking you a very critical question. See. People, you have a 50 apartments. Many people use soap solution to clean your toilet, clean your floors. So there is always a possibility that bacteria could be damaged. Okay, it happens everywhere. It happens in STP also. My question is very simple. When you have such a massive, maybe for 100 apartment, maybe typically 100 3-bedroom apartment, you may need an STP. If it's an MBR, you may need less than 100 KLD. I mean, 100 KLD. If it's around 100 KLD, your tank size is much low, maybe 1/3 the size of what you are saying without blowers. Is it viable in a 50 cent apartment project? That's all my question.
Yeah, answer is yes. We do 90% of our buildings are all in apartments. There are no space, absolutely no space. We tucked in our STP sometimes we call belt STP, wherein we around the setback we do it. Right, so we leave it to us, sir. Send us a plan. We'll integrate our STP to you. And other question is soap. We have no issues with soap. Our bacteria is strong enough. We have customers using soap, chemicals, normal day-to-day thing. Absolutely nothing happens. So that way, in fact, we use in hospitals and all. So there's nothing is pretty strong enough. Nothing fails. Space, of course, you need more space, but that's why we integrate the existing landscape somehow. So if you give it a shot, in case space is not there, you can always go back to your MBR, MMBR. That's always. So give us a choice. See if you can fit in. If there's no space at all, then definitely, yeah, but at least give us a choice to check out our solution possible. We always done in difficult to use space because the benefits are huge.
Tarun, if you can get Praseed to at least show those 3-4 installation photographs of around the beltway, under the car park, all of that while you're speaking, it will help. Maybe just bring it, keep it ready. You can show it towards the end.
Yeah, so this is one wherein the STP is here, entry here. This is a Whitefield Borwell Road. It's completely congested, no space. So we managed to tuck in STP here. So in the pathway. So what you see, these are manholes for STP. The once in 2 year, the truck comes to remove the one manhole, and the water is used for the. Yep. Prasid is asking for a view. Right.
Yeah, Tarun, if you can show, I can quickly show.
I got it. Yeah, I given you access. Yeah, so we use the existing system and then existing space and do that. But certainly we need more space. It's a natural system, so certainly we need more space.
Tarun, can you stop sharing? Praseed, if you have something, take the next minute, and then I think we can move to the next question.
I will.
Tarun, stop sharing. Yeah,
I already done.
Okay.
Praseed, you got it?
Praseed?
Yeah, just 1 minute. Give me a minute.
Yeah, any other questions in the meanwhile? Well, Praseed comes up.
Tarun, you still need to start. Okay, I think I got it now. So just Tarun, you still need to give me access to share the screen.
Okay, any other question in the meantime?
Do anybody has got any more questions on this?
Just 1 minute, I think. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, it looks like this is the Microsoft LMS. Okay, yes, now I think I got the control. Sorry about that. I think this slide problem.
In our business manager, Vivek Gopal is based out of Kochi, so he's reachable. He can work with us and make sure he shows everything what's possible.
Yeah. So can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see.
So just to show, this is one of the 80 KLD capacity implementation. This is for roughly 140 odd apartments. What you see is EcoSTP implemented the basement of the car parking. So your question, Krishna Kumar sir, what happens is you get this space back, so you can use it as a car parking area or children's play area. One of the implementation, and this is a tertiary plantation for that. So towards the end of the boundary, you see the tertiary plantation. So this is one implementation. Let me show more. So this is the landscape of the building, how you implement the the tertiary treatment, the plantation. So these are some of the other implementation. This one Tarun already showed. This is a children's play area which is completely done under this thing, and then the sand is filled. So now the land has been reused as a play area for children. Right? What you see here is one of the Method electronics company. They wanted to use the car parking and drive area as EcoSTP. Now, if they had used any other STP, that land would have been wasted. Though we require double the space, now that entire space has been reclaimed and they are able to use it as a parking area, right? And probably let me just show. This is a driveway implementation where EcoSTP has been done in the driveway. And probably last two pictures. There's a children play area. I'll show you the Chikmagalur project. So
Tarun,
this is
Tarun. Yeah. Sorry, Praseed, I think we'll have to now, make sure. So I think what I'd recommend is just share your details on the group now, so that, if they have specific questions, maybe even, maybe a deck later, you can send it to us.
Certainly.
Share.
All right.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Sorry, we're just, mindful of the time, because I want to make sure that we're able to get everybody to. Yeah. Thanks so much, Tarun. Thanks, Praseed. So without any further ado, can I request Ajit and Rabi to take quick step forward and talk about that?
Sure, sure. I'll just share my screen.
Yes, Ajit.
Are you able to see it?
Yes, take it away.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I am Ajit Alexander from QuickSpec. QuickSpec is a software platform, and earlier we have presented to Credai Kerala earlier, so some of us might remember us. So we are a software platform that allows project owners and managers to monitor in real time project metrics like progress, cost, and quality. I'll start by kind of highlighting the pain point we are tackling. And I'll do this by sharing some insights from our software platform, which has currently more than 750 million data points. And from that, what we have found is that almost 21 rupees per square feet is wasted on account of direct material and labor costs in a typical residential construction project, mainly on account of rework, right? And we have categorized which activities make up this number. And as you all know, on top of this, there is the cost of pilferage of material and leakage of labor cost and so on. And unless a project manager has a detailed visibility in real time, effective decisions cannot be taken to reduce the cost and improve the quality. Now, the reason why this is happening is because in a typical construction company, 95% of the workforce is on a project site. And the use of technology, which has improved productivity and efficiency in other sectors, has not really touched this 95%. What it has touched is the other 5%, which is office-based, who are using systems like ERP or a CRM and office productivity improvement applications. And the site engineer, the civil engineer still is using things like WhatsApp to manage multi-crore projects. And that's where QuickSpec comes in to provide this real-time visibility of site operations. And this is even more relevant in today's post-COVID work environment where companies are completely digitizing their operations. Now, what is this platform about? We have a platform that's mobile first, meaning anybody who is on a project site has a mobile app through which they can do their daily tasks. And the components of the platform include web-based modules, which allow configuration of workflows, forms that are being used on the site, and locations that are configured, meaning the towers, the units, the floors, and so on. A scheduling module that allows daily scheduling or a weekly scheduling of tasks. A tracking module that allows field engineers to upload data that is part of their daily work. And once the data is uploaded, the reporting and analytics module that provides alerts, escalations if things are not done in a specific period of time, management dashboards and reports. The platform can be not only used for construction, but also for facility management projects, because that also involves site activity. Now, the good thing about this is we have APIs that allow the data layer, which is where we store all the data that comes onto the platform, that can be integrated with other enterprise application. And our vision is to make this kind of a default for industries that have field-based staff so that real-time data can be used for delivering efficiencies in cost and time and improve the quality. Now, how is it used in the construction sector? It can be used across the cycle of construction from structural stage to handover of units, be it residential, commercial, retail, whatever the case may be. Any complex workflow can be quickly configured. So it can be, for example, an MEP can have a different workflow, a civil work can have a different workflow, your handover process can have a different workflow. And this is how typically it happens on a site. So all those can be quickly configured. And any user from any of the organizations that's working on a site can be added to the workflow. Now, if you look at what is the value proposition, why do companies use us? And let's take an example of a project of 2.5 lakh square feet with a construction cost of 62.5 crores. The benefits are fourfold. One is, as I said, the lot of wastage happens on rework. At least 40% of that, up to 9 rupees per square feet can be reduced, which goes directly to the profitability of the builders. And this is data which is, again, as based on the data analytics we have on our platform and what customers have quantified. Second is around reducing the time delays, especially for engineers on site where they are involved in a lot of manual work at the end of the day, where they have to convert all of the manual inputs that they have taken into some kind of reports for project heads or corporate management. All of that is completely eliminated because the moment they upload data from their app, their work is done, and the system will take care of where it has to go to, what kind of graphs it needs to, convert it into, and all of that. Third is around improving the quality metric measured in defects or snags per 1,000 square feet. We have seen in our clients this improved by almost 75% over a slightly long period of time because of regular monitoring and actions being taken. And finally, real-time MIS for the corporate management, or either the project head, or if it's a large company with multiple projects, the corporate head of projects can have visibility on progress, cost, time, and the quality of every project at their fingertips. So in summary, I mean, there are quantifiable, benefits on efficiency in cost and time, and improvement in quality, and also providing, improved customer satisfaction. In terms of where it's being used currently, we have onboarded many of the leading tier 1 developers across the country. And it has multiple use cases. So if you take real estate construction, companies like Godrej Properties, Tata Realty, companies like that are using us. If you look at corporate construction, a company like Infosys, who's building out their own campuses with a team of, civil construction team in-house, managing the contractor. So they are using us to monitor what's happening on the site. If you take infrastructure construction, government of Tamil Nadu is using us for sanitation projects that are coming up across the state. And recently we have gone into, the Middle East also, where oil and gas service companies are using us to implement safety projects, where they are using our platform to do safety inspections in remote sites, either onshore or offshore oil sites. This is an example of how a real estate developer has used us to improve their product quality and customer satisfaction. The platform was used by various departments like the projects team, the quality team, and the CRM team. And they improved their quality metric by 75%, which is the defects per 1,000 square feet I mentioned earlier. And because of improvement in quality, there was a resultant rework cost reduction of 30%, right? And because the entire handover process was automated or digitized, they were able to reduce the handover time of units by 80% by eliminating all these manual processes. And because of this, they were actually able to see a quantifiable improvement in customer satisfaction score by 50%, which they were measuring through these customer satisfaction surveys. This is the team driving the company, and as you can see, all of us are from Kerala, though the company is based out of Bangalore. Robbie and me are the co-founders. We have another colleague, Ranjit, who is from the construction sector, who has worked in companies like Mantri and Rohan Builders, Confident Group for many years, who heads our business development and is a subject matter expert. We have a person like Dr. Anil Menon, who is our chairman, currently the managing director at the World Economic Forum, and a person like Mohandas Pai, who is an investor and an advisor for us. And in the last 2 years, we've got some, recognitions. One is being a winner at the NASSCOM CBRE PropTech event. And also we are part of a select group of companies who got to meet the Prime Minister last year as part of the Housing Technology Challenge. So that's an overview of QuickSpec and what our platform is and what we do and where we have deployed. Now, as a special offer for Credai Kerala, wherever you have projects which are in handover stage, because that is typically where maximum pressure comes to deliver the units, be it apartments or if it's commercial, to the tenants in a very, very compressed period of time. So any projects that are in that stage, and if you sign up before the end of this month, and it's a platform which is provided on a monthly basis, on a project basis. So, we charge on a month to month. So we make this offer of giving a 1 month free if you sign up before the end of the month. And I'll leave my contact details behind so that you can reach us if any of you are interested. So with that, I'll end my presentation. And if any questions are there, I can answer.
Thanks, Ajay. Do we have any questions? don't see any, but stick around, Ajay. Maybe
Sure.
towards the end we may. Okay. So then let me move to PropVR, and can I request Sundar to make the presentation?
Sure. Thanks, Apul.
Thanks, Sundar.
Hi, everyone. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Okay, perfect. So hi, everyone. I'm Sundar, co-founder at PropVR. At PropVR, we are redefining the digital real estate experience using shareable interactive walkthroughs. So one of the core problems today in the real estate industry is it's an expensive process to build a model flat and kind of show that model flat to the clients because it's physically limited and you have to furnish it every time you build it. Or in case of marketing today, real estate uses 2D assets like photos, videos, and floor plans, which are non-engaging and do not justify a 3D space. With the impact of COVID-19, one of the major impacts has been how do you showcase your projects or how do you increase your site visits digitally through better methods. So PropVR is all about real estate visualization using immersive technology. One of the core products that we offer is called Instant 3D Walkthrough, where we convert any of your floor plan or a model flat into digital pixels using 3D spatial technology. Let me elaborate on that. So when you give a floor plan, generally it takes weeks to convert your floor plan into a 3D render. What we generally do is we convert your floor plan into a photorealistic 3D render that can be viewed as if you're walking through that space. So we believe that in future, you don't even have to build model flats, but rather than that, you can use our 3D engine to create these kind of experiences within hours instead of weeks. So PropVR experience can convert your floor plan or your model flat into a digital twin in hours instead of weeks. What it mainly does is it can work on any kind of device. So that means that it can improve your customer engagement by up to 400% on online platforms. And since the platform is entirely automated, it cuts down your marketing costs by up to 80%. So here, let me show you a demo. The first case is when our customer actually had a model flat. So this is a flat in Bangalore, which is done by Brigade, called Brigade Eldorado. So what we did was we had our photographer, any of the photographer who can go and capture the space using a normal camera. Once he imports these images to our platform, you get an experience like this, where it starts from a floor plan view. You get a bird eye view where you can like interact with that. The entire experience is interactive and immersive. So you can click anywhere on the project and you feel like you're walking through the project. So here I can, if I wanted to move further, I just click here and I can actually feel like I'm actually moving through the project. So this basically has digitized your entire model flat into digital pixels, which can be shared to your customers via links, or can be put on your website, or can be used on your social media channel. Now I'll tell you something more exciting. Sometimes like this particular customer had saved crores of rupees rather than building one single model flat of one particular property. He gave us 4 floor plans, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, all the variants, and we converted his floor plans into an experience like this. So from the floor plan alone, we are able to generate a photorealistic 3D experience where you can actually walk in. So if I click here in the project, I am actually going into the project. So this project is not yet built, but you get a photorealistic render of the space as if you're actually walking through the space. So you can see the quality of these renders. And with the technology going further, the renders are becoming more and more realistic so that you can't even bifurcate. So we see that the future vision is that this can be used by real estate to save crores of rupees, and rather than building model flat, they can now help customers visualize all these projects. So PropVR as a platform, the instant 3D walkthrough is just creating the shareable experience. But during COVID, we found that our real estate sales teams needed more collaboration on top of these 3D virtual tours, basically to increase site visits. So we created something called a collaborative sales tool, which is a Zoom-like platform on a browser where you can share links to your customers, and customers from anywhere around the world can join this experience. So what happens is here, imagine I'm sharing a link to a customer in Dubai, and the customer from Dubai can join it, and I can take him virtually through a site visit as if I'm actually taking him through a real site visit, open up brochures and co-browse with him through the entire presentation. So this allows real estate to gain and convert their leads much faster. Finally, we have the engagement analytics where you can track pixel level detail from these 3D virtual tours and measure the ROI from the virtual tours on one dashboard. So quickly to show the dashboard, this is how it looks, where all of your projects come under one dashboard, and the sales teams can create sessions using this dashboard. So creating session is mainly like creating an Zoom call. So you can see here on the browser itself, this session has started with the virtual tour in the center. You can see here there's a video call also embedded and the voice call. So this link can be shared to any customer. He doesn't have to install any app, but he can quickly join in this session and the salesperson can take him through the entire presentation as if he's actually walking him through the model flag. So why Propia? One of the core things what we have understood is in an industry standard where it takes 4 weeks and 3 to 4 lakhs to create such experiences, we have done it in an automated way where you can save 1/10 the time and cost. So there's no doubt that this is kind of the future of how we visualize projects, and we have been trusted by top builders. Just during COVID, we onboarded one of our highest sales. We booked over 23 customers doing 58 projects covering 200,000 square feet of spaces in digital pixels. And all these customers, once they have done one of their floor plans, have come back to us, and now they are doing all of their floor plans using our platform so that they can save more money. Last year, we were also recognized as one of the top startups in the PropTech space by CBRE and NASSCOM, which gave us more industry validation. So this is one of the testimonials.
Sundar, we are not able to hear Mr. Zafar.
Sorry. Yeah. So basically, Mr. Zafar is head of marketing at Pragnya. He's explaining that during the COVID scenario, he used the Propia sales platform to increase and convert clients online. So their sales team were able to sell properties using the platform, and they were able to convert clients during the lockdown because the clients couldn't come down to the site visit. We have also seen that our customers, when they use the platform, they are able to increase their engagement by 400%. So for the Credai Kerala team here, we are offering a special price for the next 10 days. So first plan, whichever you give us, we can convert and show you the impacts from that plan. They're giving you a 20% off on the first project. So what you will get is when you share us the floor plan, we'll convert that into a 3D interactive experience, which can be deployed in multiple devices. You'll also get access to the sales tool where you can check how you can use this tool for interactive sales sessions. So that's all from my side. I'm happy to take any questions if you have.
Are there any questions to Sundar?
Mr. Sundar, the cost that you have mentioned here is 20,000 for 2 BHK, and can you go to the other slide here? 25,000 for 3 BHK.
Yeah.
Is it for individual flat or even the project? It's
So
not
this is
clear.
Yeah, so this is a floor plan. So imagine, like, for example, generally for converting a floor plan, when you give us just a floor plan, right, you get this kind of an experience out of that for that price. So this is entirely built in 3D and converted into an experience like this using our platform. So you don't have to like depend on multiple service providers, like first do the 3D development, then do the VR development, then convert that into an interactive experience. So just with the floor plan as the input, we convert that into a model like this. So in this case,
we
this is a 2
charge
BHK.
20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I'll come back to you. I'll be your first customer in Kerala. I'll come back to you.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Tomorrow morning, I'll give you a call.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Please share your contact details.
Yeah,
Sundar, you
I'll
should
share the
yeah.
I'll
And also,
share
I recommend Sundar share a couple of links where they can try it themselves.
Perfect. I'll do that.
The demo. Do share those links as well, so they can play with the floor plan and the 3D.
Perfect. I'll do that.
All right. So we move towards our last presentation for the day. Can I request Rohin to talk about Spintly?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Rohin Parker. I'm co-founder and CEO at Spintly. And Spintly is a contactless access control platform which allows users to unlock doors with their smartphone, and it reduces infrastructure cost. I'm sure you've seen access control systems being used in office spaces where people use a badge and unlock their doors. So one of the major problems we found in this in the access control systems which are currently being deployed is that it uses a technology which was developed almost 40 years back, which basically there is a reader on every door. You go to any office space, there will be a reader on every door, and you have to run cables from this reader to a controller, which is located somewhere in the building. Right? So you have to pull physical cables from to every reader. So imagine a building with 100 doors which need access control. You will need conduiting to be done, laying to be able to pull cables to each of the doors. Right? So this is what a controller looks like for a 12-door kind of access control system. And this is what it looks like for a 112-door access control system. Now this is occupying an entire room of controllers. So it occupies real estate space, and it is heavy on cost and labor. So what we have done is we've taken these controllers which you see here and converted that into a small gateway, which is a small wireless device which fits on your hand, and that communicates with all the access control readers in the building over a wireless mesh network. So that way what we have done is completely eliminated the need for cabling, which is usually needed for all access control systems. And so essentially what it is an IoT enabled access control platform. So this is connected to the cloud, and that allows customers to get real-time data on the access control systems, on attendance, and I'll be talking about what are the use cases we enable for our end customers. So we currently cater to the customers in workplaces. Workplaces is our go-to market segment right now. We also cater to co-living spaces, residential spaces, and hospitality. Our focus is on providing frictionless access experience to users. With this, what we've done is it's a completely shift in way the access control systems have been deployed in commercial spaces or residential spaces. So our value proposition for any real estate the community is that we bring down the material cost which is needed for access control systems by about 80%, where you have to lay down conduits going from every door to a central location somewhere in the building. And also then you have to pull cables through those conduits. We bring down the labor cost for access control system by more than 50%, because there is no more laying down of conduits or laying down of cables for access control. Our systems are very easy to install and set up. They are Bluetooth enabled, so any electrician can set it up using a smartphone. So for the end customer, it brings down the installation cost time by more than 70%. For the end customers or the end users, we provide an end-to-end solution. We provide access management, attendance management solutions. We provide contactless visitor management solutions where visitors can enter the buildings, register themselves, check in themselves with their own smartphones, and be able to open doors with their own smartphones. User experience is our focus, where we provide frictionless user experience, where a person can just tap their phone on a door and the door will unlock for them. They don't have to open an app and figure out which button to click to unlock the door. And recently we have launched our COVID-friendly features, which is for the post-COVID world, where it is important that we give a sense of safety to all the organizations. We are enabling access control with temperature monitoring, where the door will only unlock if the person's temperature is below a certain whatever limit. And this we have integrated with our access control systems. So this is a use case I'll show here for a workplace solution. So access starts right at the entrance of the building, where all the employees or people have to enter the main gate. Usually there will be a security guard. He has to identify the resident or the employee that he belongs to the community. Right? With our system, the resident or the user can just unlock the gate with his smartphone and drive in. So it becomes an automatic identification for him. Then he can use the same system to enter the main lobby of the building through either a flap barrier or any kind of a door. He can even access the elevator with the same app. Then he can go into the office door, and then even places like cafeterias can have access control, which can be accessed. So this is an end-to-end solution which we offer using a single app. Now we've been in business for about 1.5 years. These are our customers. They can be mainly segmented into co-working spaces, workplaces, real estate companies, property management companies, and co-living spaces. We do almost 15,000 daily unlocks per day. Here are some of our customer testimonials where we have deployed our systems. At SIVA is a co-working space where we have completely replaced their existing wired system with a fully wireless system. At Simply Guest, it's a co-living space. We have made it really easy for them to give access to their staff as well as the customers who use their co-living spaces using smartphone access. Before they had to share keys and give access to people. Now it is fully through a smartphone. SmartWorks, we have simplified access control for all their users, giving them frictionless access for their locations across India. There are almost 30 locations where they have to manage access to their co-working employees, co-working users, and giving access and removing access becomes a hassle using cards. So with the smartphone-based access, we have really simplified the system. There's another co-working space called Fire. It's an incubation space where we have simplified their access control. This is a team was founded by myself and Malcolm. We come with about 18 years of technology background, having worked in the US. Travis heads our North America-based business. We've already launched our product in the US. And Santosh heads our sales for India and is currently focused on South India as the market. He's based out of Bangalore. And Aniket is our business development manager director he's based out of Mumbai. For projects which are new, we are offering a 15% discount for all Credai members if you reach out to us in the next 1 month's time before 31st October. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Rohin, I'm Anthony. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Now, you said the access control, excellent. The thing is, it's meant for spaces like co-working, co-living, or any large high-end space. Now, do you have a solution for the normal access control for the workers at site? But now people are going high tech, so but you will not find the kind of systems that you normally find in a high-end workplace. Can you find out some solution for access control and attendance management in work sites?
So our system also works at work sites where if you have a smartphone, you can check in using the smartphone. Majority people have smartphones. Yeah, it needs a smartphone. We also support fingerprint, and we are also adding support for face recognition as a part of the solution. We also enable GPS-based check-in, where if you are in that particular location, then you can do a check-in. You can mark yourself present, and then you can check out.
GPS too.
Yes.
Yeah. Rohin, I'll get in touch with you subsequently, separately. Probably we need to discuss.
Sure, then. Thanks, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. To continue from where Anthony left, how many levels of redundancy do you have for the system?
When you say redundancy in terms of providing access, reliable access?
Yes, I'll tell you. As you come from the road, you have the gate. You're the main entrance gate where you have again an access control. You come to the lobby, you have access control. You come to the lift, you have access control. You come to your front door, you have access control. Okay, you're using an app. So unless you have, if it malfunctions, what is how many levels of redundancy? At least you should have 2 levels of redundancy.
Yeah. Okay.
Third, you can break open. Or maybe fourth, you can break open.
So at the main gate, usually these are boom barriers which are there, right? So
no. Certainly no. So we have sliding gates where you have
whatever sliding gates or boom barriers. So if there is a security guard, the current system is that there is a security guard who will push a button by looking at the car, right? So that system, we are retrofit on top of that system. So that system is always working, the one which is there. Now, in addition to smartphone, we also give
100 days in a year right here.
yeah.
100 days in a year it rains in Kerala. So access control is a must for the main gate.
Okay. So in addition to smartphone, we also give a device, a remote, small remote control, which you can stick it to your car keys, and they can use that the main gates. Right?
So Rohin, you should also talk about the card. So you can work with RFID cards, remotes.
Yeah. So we also
all
support
kinds of
cards. Our devices also support cards, which are like the MyFair cards, RFID cards, which can unlock doors. And our systems can be deployed in two ways: fail safe and sorry.
Part of the IoT system. So other than this, other than that, do you have any redundancy that capital? No.
So, sorry, I lost this. So this actually doesn't use internet for access, right? We don't use internet for access. We use Bluetooth. So the communication is between your smartphone and the access control reader directly. So it's very reliable because Bluetooth is always there in your phone. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, partly yes. Thank you.
Rohin, I have one more. For work sites, will this be an affordable solution? Both in terms of the investment required and as well as the recurring expenses.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, depends on how many sites you have and how many devices you need. We can work it out, and it's definitely an affordable. We are low on capex. It's more of a monthly charge kind of a model we have.
Okay.
I'll definitely reach out to you, sir. And
yeah. Anyone else? Anybody else has got any questions?
Yeah, so Mr. Anthony, just to add to what Rohin was saying, one of the things that they are also talking to somebody in Bangalore, a developer, is also for construction sites, wherein, they may or may not carry smartphones. So can we use a GPS-based, check-in, check-out, and other ways to sort of not only curb the cost, but also make sure that the system works in such cases, which is not very tech-friendly or tech-driven. I mean, the laborers may not carry smartphones. So,
okay.
One of the advantages, it's a cloud-based. You get the data centrally wherever you are for your multiple sites which you have.
Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody, all of the, also request Pintley, Rohin, do share your coordinates as well on the chat so that, everybody who's interested can reach out to you. Rajiv will be sending our coordinates as well, mine and his, our email addresses as well, in case if there are any questions for us. And we're happy to connect to these startups or any other startups for that matter. Those are shared in the brochure.
So, have you done? I think with the thanks not from Mr. Anthony, I think we can wind up the session.
Is it done or anybody has got any more questions?
It's still silent.
Am I?
I think we'll keep the recording. You can share the record.
It's there. It's there. No issue.
I want to go through it again. I want to go through it at least 1 second and get back to them.
Sounds good. So thank you so much, Mr. Krishna Kumar, Mr. Anthony, Mr. Setu, Ms. Elizabeth, the team of Credai Kerala, the Governing Council for giving us and also our startups an opportunity to present to each and every one of you. Much appreciate your time. I think, and the questions were very, very interesting. I was, pleasantly surprised. I think a lot of REAP startups can benefit not only from selling, but also from just learning from each of you, from getting your feedback, making their solutions better and more affordable and more viable for the real estate market. So once again, thank you so much. And we would be happy to take any questions offline if there are.
Apul and Rajiv and the rest of the guys, we really enjoyed. It was a wonderful presentation. In fact, at senior presentation, or many of us had senior presentation 3 years back or 2 years back, exactly 2 years back. But then this time you have a lot more, and I believe you've traveled a lot, a lot of distance from what you have done then. Amazing. I think many would be interested. Many would not have asked you questions, but then many would reach out to you. Probably our secretariat will circulate the recordings as well as the contact details, and probably short presentations if any of you may have.
Sure.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. We enjoyed. Great.
And if you're in Bangalore and would like to meet us, the team at REAP, just to talk about problems or challenges that fraternity is facing, we are happy to do that. A lot of problems that startups are solving for today have come to us because a lot of real estate developers have reached out to us and have shared their problems, whether it's in materials, nanotech, or all of the ones that you heard today. So thank you. Look forward to an exciting and engaging conversations as and when we meet. So thank you so much.